Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brothers. So this is the translation of that message that was sent to me. The message reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a man who is aged 35 years old, and I want to confess to you the things that I have been doing, but it was never my intentions to be the man that I am right now. And as for now, I have been given another mission, and I have been told that I should leave my own country so that I can go to any foreign country where I can stay, because in this land that I am staying, in my own home country, I have already completed my mission. So growing up, I always wanted to be a pastor. Most of the people said that because of the way that I talk, I was supposed to be a pastor. I grew up in a Pentecostal church that is very popular in our country, and even in Southern Africa, it is all over the place. And growing up in this church, I just wanted to go to Bible school, but because my parents, they were poor, there was no money for me to go to Bible school. Instead of me becoming a pastor, then my father then took me, and I then started working for this other man who was a mechanic, who taught me how to become a mechanic. But still, I had the love of God in my heart. At church, I then joined the praise and worship team. Whilst I was in the praise and worship team, that was when I met the woman that I first got married to. We had a beautiful wedding, even though we could not afford to go on a vacation for our honeymoon. We actually had our honeymoon at one of the church elders' house. We spent the weekend there. Then after that, we then started to stay at our own place, but it was just a small one-roomed house. Life was very difficult. This woman that I got married to, my first wife, she was a woman of faith, and since she was working as a professional, she honestly thought that God indeed was going to bless us and our life was going to be better. But with time, I saw that she then started to lose hope, and she kept on losing hope. Since she was working in the government, I then spoke with her and I said, how about you try to apply for a loan? In those days, the civil servants, they were being given some loans. So I spoke with my wife to take out a loan. My wife then said, the money that I have been given, because she had been approved a huge sum of money by the bank, and I said, how about I start my own garage like in the CBD? I know that I am going to make a lot of money, because I wanted to start a workshop whereby I will be fixing cars, panel beating the cars, as well as exchanging tires and other minor fixes on cars. My wife then said, how about we start by buying a house so that we know that we would have secured our future and the future of our children? But I refused, and I said, let us use this money, give me this money so that I can make a good investment, and we are going to buy a house somewhere else, maybe in the suburbs, even in Borodale, if you want. Just trust me. So my wife then trusted me. She took that money, all of it, and she gave it to me. When she gave me this money, indeed, I went into town, and I had already found a place whereby it was really busy. So I thought that I was going to be making a lot of money, but unfortunately business was really slow. And the reason as to why business was really slow, I later found out that the guy who had his own workshop right next door to me, this man, he had his own charms. So the way that this man did his rituals is that if if you are in business, and if you are operating your business in the same area that you'll be operating his own business, then you will start to steal your own customers. Any person that would want to come to your workshop, the person will just pass through your workshop, then they will go to that old man's workshop. That is how he was making money. This man, he even had two buses. These buses, they used to travel between Chitungwiza and Harare CBD. And this man, he was using his rituals for his buses. I only got to know about this. This was after I had done my own rituals, after I had sacrificed my own dear wife. So since business was really slow, the bank wanted its money back, and I could not give my wife the money that was needed by the bank for as an installment, like each and every year. Like each and every month, I could not afford to pay back that loan. Me and my wife, we then started to fight, and we were really fighting a lot. She wanted the money and I didn't have the money. She then said, how about you sell this business? She had already found someone who wanted to buy this business because of the place where my workshop was. I refused. You know, us mechanics, we fall in love with our workshop. Even if you are running at a loss, all that you want is to remain at that place. When my wife came with that man who wanted to buy this workshop, I thought that indeed my wife was cheating on me. So I ended up assaulting my wife and she got me arrested. After I had been arrested, my wife then said, I think it is better that we divorce. I could not get divorced from my wife because my wife, since she was working in the government and at least she could afford to pay the bills, I didn't want to be separated from my wife. Then spoke with my mother's brother, my uncle, and I told him everything that was going wrong in the city. My uncle then said, I used to watch you when you were growing up. I thought that maybe this God, your God of Israel, the God of white people, is going to at least help you in life. But I knew that you were going to come back to me. I said, what do you mean, uncle, when you say that you knew that I was going to come back to you? My uncle then said that, you see, this foreign God of yours, this God of the white people, there is a reason as to why they teach you how to pray in English to this God, for you will be praying to another God. You have forgotten your own ancestors, and when you have forgotten your ancestors, then they will also forget about you. You need to return back to them. So that is how we started the preparations. I did these things without the knowledge of my parents, whom I had left back in Harare. We did this ceremony and my wife was not even there. I was then taken to the graveyard where my father's brothers and his relatives are buried. Then we started to speak with the spirits of my father's late relatives and we invited them back into the family's compound. And after we had invited them, that was when the dreams started. I started to have a lot of dreams and I saw that indeed I had some spiritual powers, but I was supposed to be. I then spoke with my uncle and I said, is there any way that we can convert this gift? Since you say that I am supposed to become a traditional healer, can't we convert this gift so that at least I can get some money out of it? Because I didn't want to go through that process of maybe staying for a year, being trained to become a traditional healer, and I knew that my wife was not going to tolerate me becoming a traditional healer. She was definitely going to dump me. So my uncle then said that he was going to confirm with one of his friends, but we had to wait because this friend of his, he was on the other side of the border in Mozambique. We waited for that man to come into our village. When he came to our village, that was when we had that meeting. The man then said, okay, it is fine, I will try to see what we can do. This man, after he had gotten someone who wanted to buy this gift that I was born with, then we did a ceremony, and after the ceremony had been done, that man said that I had to come to Mozambique so that he can give me the gift that he was supposed to give me. And I then went to Mozambique. It was me, my uncle, and one of my father's sister. That was when that healer then said to me he was going to give me a mirror, and this mirror was going to reveal to me the person that I was going to sacrifice. So I ended up sacrificing my own wife. By the time that I returned back to Harare, my wife, she was really sick. After my wife had passed away, I was then given a punishment. I was supposed to suffer for 2 years, and then I lived in the bushes. This was for 2 years, and after the 2 years it came to pass, when I was resting underneath this other tree one day, that was when I saw that besides me, after I had dozed off a little bit, then I saw that there was this other suitcase that was close to me. I took that suitcase and I opened it up and I saw that there was money in there, just like that traditional healer in Mozambique had promised me. I took the money and I washed myself up and I looked for a place to stay. And after that, I bought my own house. After I had bought my house, I was then told that the only rule to this covenant that I had with that traditional healer is that I am not supposed to bath. Oh yes, I do not bath. When I feel that like I am really smelly now, what I do is that I just take a towel, then I just wipe my private parts underneath my testicles and even my armpits because they get so smelly. As for now, if I calculate the years that I have spent without bathing, they are about 11 years that I have spent without bathing. All that I do is that I wipe myself. Recently, I have seen that, there are those baby wipes. Those are the ones that I buy because I see that when I use them to wipe my manhood and underneath my balls, at least the smell will just disappear. Back in the days, I used to use a towel, but even after using a towel to wipe myself, still that smell will be there. But after I started to use these baby wipes, at least the smell will just go away. The other rituals that I perform is that when I am with a woman, it is not about sleeping with that woman, like penetrating her, but what I have to make sure that she is going to do is that she has to lick my manhood, because when she is sucking my manhood, then she will be completing that ritual. She will be helping me to complete my rituals. Since I do not wash my manhood with soap and water, when she will be busy licking my manhood, as dirty as it will be, then the more that I will be making my own money. As for now, I was told that there is no need for me to be in Zim anymore. I was told that I am now free to choose any country where I want to go to, so that I can spend the rest of my days in that country, because these charms that were given to me, they are about to expire, and the only way for these charms to be renewed, I have to go to another country where I can spend the rest of my life. For these charms, they are about to expire in the 13th year. I was told that these charms, they are going to expire. Then the spirit of my wife is going to be woken up, and the spirit of my wife will come after me. I have to make sure that when the 13th year comes around, I am not supposed to be in Zim, because in the 13th year, my wife's spirit is going to wake up and she is going to go around looking for me. So this traditional healer said that he is going to give me some charms so that if I go to any foreign land, then the spirit of my wife is not going to be able to locate me. So this means that when I move out of Zim, I'm going to move out of my country on a permanent basis. I am still looking for a country whereby I can go to. All that I am going to do is that I am going to pretend as if I am an investor, since I have a lot of money, so that I can quickly get your business permits, and I have not yet chosen which country that I want to go and stay on a permanent basis. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. So that is the narration of the message that he sent to me. Strange things do happen in this world.